It's the greatest exhibition on the Midway, the show that's got everything.
All right. You say that's not enough. Say you're not satisfied. Say you want more for your money. All right, tell you what I'm going to do.
The grandstand today, the greatest automobile thrill show of all time. Jimmie Lynch and his Step Dodgers. The internationally famous group of Step Dodgers out in front of the grandstand today.
Where did I find Jimmie Lynch? Well, Jimmy, too.
Now, Henry, you're not going to do this.
Hiya, Margie. Hiya, Hank. How's the old stick in the mud?
He wants to ask Jimmie Lynch to let him drive with the Step Dodgers.
He couldn't drive a bargain.
Listen, I've been practicing a whole year.
Oh, let him go. Jimmy won't hire him, and you come on in with me.
I will go with you, but if you're going to be stubborn...
Maybe you better. I'll see you later.
That's what you think. Come on, Marge.
I'm not stubborn, but I'm going to see Jimmie Lynch.
Come on.
I can ride anything, Mr. Lynch.
Maybe you can, but our kind of driving is different. It takes nerve and training.
Yes, sir, but I can do it.
I can't do that, and you know it.
Attention. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a commercial show, but people ask us what cars we use. Based on 13 years' experience, we use only Dodge automobiles. Regular stock cars, the same that you'll find at your local Dodge dealers. The mufflers are disconnected, not for greater speed, but to show you how we control the cars through power. All right, are you ready, gentlemen? There goes Mighty Reeves. Of course, this is just a warm-up round. And Bill Horton. Next, Jimmy Jr. Man, that's tooling it. And Jimmie Lynch Sr. Beginning to tramp out a little bit. That's the way to get the feel of the track, and it's plenty fast out there today.
Again? Now, look, if you just let me show you, Mr.
Now,
Lynch,
look, son, I can't do that, and you know it.
Yep.
Write me a letter. Now, beat it.
My foot caught.
Clear the track. Hey, what's going on down there? Looks like he's got his foot caught in the ramp. Get him out of there, by somebody. Hurry, hurry! Too late, boys. Save yourself. Now, just to make it tougher, introducing the three-car Romans. All eyes on the cars as they hit that turn up there. But with three cars, anything can happen. Those bumpers hook, you're going to see a rollover. Watch it, boys. Got it straightened out. Up they go. Watch it, watch it. Next work, gentlemen. That's too close for comfort. Something you've never seen before in open convertibles. Three-car Romans in a triple crossover. Watch them now. That's the first one. Now, the jump. Now the second crossover. Now. And the third one. Ooh, what driving. A beautiful job. While they're getting ready for the truck jump, we're slipping in a quick one to teach the boys and girls not to hook rides on the backs of cars and trucks. Rabbit Benhart will drop off the back of a speeding automobile. Watch. Ooh, that was a nasty one. Remember, boys and girls, Rabbit risks his neck, so you won't ever hook rides on cars. It's dangerous. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready for the truck jump. And what's that? That guy's back again, riding a 1935 Dodge like a horse. Whoa!
Why, it's Henry.
What does he think he's doing?
come on, Susie.
Whoa!
Back up, Susie.
Whoa!
Say, that's kind of cute.
Oh, anybody can do that. I'll show you.
Give me that car. Oh, you want it? Here. Okay, Susie, let's go.
Wait, stop! Whoa! Wait, stop! Whoa!
Wait a minute, boys, wait a minute. You're the stick-to-itest guy I ever did see. That's a pretty funny stunt.
Oh, I can ride anything, Mr. Lynch.
Well, maybe you can. I hear you got a DFC for riding a P-51 and have done some barnstorming.
Yes, sir, but I'd rather be in your show.
Can you obey orders?
Yes, sir.
Well, next is a truck jump, and my boys and I have done them thousands of times. It takes nerve and training and hitting the ramp at just the right speed. Up and over you go, and just kiss the bed of the truck and light running.
Gee, that's a darb.
Think you can do that?
Yes, sir.
Well, it isn't the same as leapfrogging a ramp with an outboard motor.
No, sir, but I can do it.
Well, come on.
Clear the track for the truck jump. Here he comes. Better pick up a little more speed there, fella. Ooh, that's not fast enough. Ladies and gentlemen of the theater audience, these things happen sometimes. We wouldn't deliberately stage a miss. We have accidents, too, just like you folks do on the highways. And when they do happen, that's when we're glad we're in Dodges. We had 2 cameras on that jump, one from the side angle. I'm going to ask them to run that film, too. Now that we know what's going to happen, we can pay more attention to what it does to the car, because that's important to every driver. So we'll see that same jump again from the other angle. Hold it. I wanted you to be able to see it all clearly. Think of the terrific shot. The grill is stove in, and no wonder. But notice the condition of the body and doors. That's the kind of a car that saves lives.
Are you all right?
Yeah, but I spoiled the jump.
I told you to take it at 50. What's the matter? Did you lose your nerve?
No, I thought 45 would do it.
In this business, you follow orders.
Yes, sir. Next time I will.
Well, there won't be any next time.
Oh, now look, Mr. Lynch. I'm really serious about this. You had to start sometime, didn't you? Let me take you out in my own Dodge after the show.
Okay, kid, I'll do that much after the show.
I wish I had a real chance to show you what this car can do.
You're telling me what a Dodge can do?
Well, then, what I can do. I had a good teacher, my dad. He was a test driver for Dodge during the war. You should have seen him in action. His special pet was developing the power wagon. Dad's a quiet sort of fellow who gets fun out of simple things. He told me once he made a game of it. Every day he'd start out to see if he could drive into something that the Dodge couldn't pull out of. And he did get into some Lulu. Summer or winter, land or water made no difference to him. If anything, it just gave him a chance to make the going tougher. And night after night, I remember him coming home and telling Mom, well, I haven't had to walk back yet. I think about the most fun he ever had was the day some visitors came out to watch him. They were kidding him. So he got them in for a ride, and you should have seen where he took them. Straight up the side of a hill, all 16 at once, a 60% grade. They were pretty respectful after that, both to Dad and to Dodge. Well, that's the way I feel about fluid drive. If I could find a place, there's one. This'll do. I just want to show you that I know about fluid drive. The car is still in high. Now I'm going to step on the accelerator and let the clutch pedal come back. With the old direct drive, you know that would kill the engine or play hard with something. But listen to this. I'm racing the motor, and because it's fluid drive, it doesn't stall and no harm is being done. Just listen to it when I open the cutout. Now I'm going to drop into second gear and do the same thing again. It has even more power, but still doesn't stall and doesn't hurt anything. Now I'll shift into first.
Hey, we'll get pink. Close that cutout and get us out of here.
I guess I don't know my own strength.
Say, how would you like to drive?
Oh, I wish I could. I've been after Henry to teach me.
Well, let me teach you, sweetheart.
Well,
Oh, come on. Let's show him.
well,
Now, kid, push down with your left foot. Lift the lever with your right hand. Pull it up and back a little. Let your left foot back. And at the same time, push down with your right foot. No, darn it. I mean, darling. Pull the lever up and back, not down. No, put it back in the middle, in neutral. Push in with your left foot when you do it. And take your right foot off and step on the starter. Easy, I tell you. Let it in easy. Pull back on the lever. Push down on your right foot. And your left foot, easy. And your right foot, push down. Now see what you've done.
well, you yelled at me.
Of all the dumb, here, let me take it. You ought to have your head examined.
I sure had. Ever coming out here with you. You. Henry. Oh, now you'll be stuck, too.
Who said so? Hop in, honey. Okay, let's go.
Oh, I can't drive. I just did that.
So what?
Well, I get my hands and feet all mixed up.
There's nothing to get mixed up about in a Dodge, honey. Just take hold of the wheel. Now push down with your left foot. Push the shift lever down and back toward you. Now let your left foot come all the way back. Swell. And now push the accelerator gently with your right foot, and we'll pull right out of here.
Go out? No, go on. I'll get out all right. Okay.
There, you see how much easier it is to pull out of bad places like mud and sand? Even on ice. Or other cars just spin their wheels. You can often start right away with Dodge Fluid Drive.
But what do you mean by fluid drive?
Well, regular drive is like this. The parts are locked together, and one part turning turns the other. But with a drive through fluid, well, maybe this isn't the technical explanation, but I think you'll understand it. If you're stirring batter in a mixing bowl, the spoon will turn the whole bowl unless it's held.
Oh, yes.
Now, if instead of a spoon, you attach a row of fins around the inside of the bowl, and you use a power mixer with a paddle wheel arrangement, well, you can imagine how much more spin you get. Well, imagine two such bowls attached on the back of the engine flywheel, face to face, on edge, and about 3/4 filled with light oil sealed in.
Where does it go in the car?
It goes in between the engine and the clutch. When the engine's running slowly, the fluid gently eddies around the fins and the paddle. But when the engine speeds up, the fluid is whirled rapidly against the paddle wheel attached to the clutch shaft, and that turns all parts together. So there's a fluid cushion or coupling to absorb the shocks between the engine and the wheels.
Yes, I do see.
You can start and stop in high if you want to, or you can shift into second for a quick getaway if necessary. But you soon learn to govern your car a good deal of the time with just your right foot. I'll open the cutout a little. As you come up behind that car, slow down with your brake. All right, now speed up again. No, don't touch the gear shift. Just move your foot from the brake to the accelerator. That's the ticket. See how slick it works? With fluid drive, lots of times you don't use the clutch at all. Why, I could tie your hands right to the wheel so you couldn't shift gears or use the clutch. And you could still stop, speed up, and turn corners, controlling car speed with the brake and accelerator alone. And when it comes to hill driving, well, like this. We're coming to a boulevard street up there, and you have to stop. But you see how easy it is? Shift into second, let your clutch go all the way back, speed up your engine just enough to hold it when you stop. That's it. Now just hold it with the engine. You see? You don't have to grab for emergency brakes. Okay, here we go. Just push your accelerator, and away we go.
Here they come, the parade that starts a 2-hour circus of death. Jimmy Lynch and the internationally famous troupe of Death Dodgers.
You ever see an automobile driven like a bicycle on two wheels? You're going to now.
The boys have driven up on the high hurdles to show you the angle at which their cars will be riding when they come off those ramps. Hey, get away from there, Nick. It's too easy to tip a car over at that angle. Okay, fellas, take it away, but for Pete's sake, watch yourselves. Oh, beautiful! Did I say like a bicycle? Watch closely, and you'll see for a moment there, as it leaves the ramp, the car is riding on one wheel. Watch that front wheel as it hits the track. The force is so great that the tire is rolled right under, and that car is actually riding on the outer edge of one rim. Hang on to it, Bill. That car comes off there, it's actually overbalanced. That is trial by torture. How can an automobile possibly stand up under such treatment? Not just for one afternoon, but for show after show all season long. The answer is in that famous Dodge box frame that you get a worm's eye view of as it goes by. There it is. Hey, look at that. Those ramps are 22 inches wide. The two tires are 6 inches each. Allow another couple of inches for the fenders, and you see what's left. Wow! That, ladies and gentlemen, is the ultimate in precision driving.
Hiya, Mr. Lynch.
Oh, hello. You here again?
Yes, sir. You said if I came back today, you'd put me in one of your cars.
All right, son. I'll put you in one. Get right in, Henry. All right, boys. Fix him up. Fix him up.
Ouch! What do you think you're doing? Lay off, you guys! Let go of my feet! Ouch! Well, what's the idea?
I said I'd put you in a car. I didn't say I'd let you do any driving. You're dangerous just to have around. I'll come back and let you out after the show. Come on, boys.
Well, Bull,
Thank you, folks. Thank you. You ain't seen nothing yet. While they're getting the track ready for the big crash stuff, I'm going to call for a talk from the man who has rolled over automobiles more than 1,800 times and never got a scratch. Listen and learn from the greatest stunt driver of all time, Jimmie Lynch.
Thank you. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. So many people ask me about their own automobile. Number one, what should you do if your car goes into a skid? Turn the steering wheel in the direction the rear end of the car is skidding and step on the gas. Number two, what should you do in case a tire blows out? Don't slam on the brake. Increase the speed of the car just a little to pull it out of the swerve it goes into when the tire goes down. After you've gained control of your car and straightened it up, then bring it to a gradual stop. But on a Dodge, you know, you have an additional margin of safety. On all four wheels, you have the Dodge safety rim. We were illustrating that this morning on the backstretch for the movie cameras.
For the purpose of comparison, he had the regular Dodge safety rim wheels removed and ordinary wheels put on. That left front tire has a piece of dynamite behind it. Keep an eye on it now as Jimmie deliberately blows the tire out. As he blows, and look at that tire, will you? See how it flops from side to side and comes clear off the wheel. That wheel is removed, and the regular Dodge safety rim wheel is put back on. That's Mrs. Jimmie Lynch at the wheel this time to show how easy it is, even for a woman, to handle a Dodge car in case of a blowout. Again, the tire is dynamited. Only this time, even though the tire is shot, it stays right on the rim and allows Mrs. Lynch to bring her car to an easy, safe, straight line stop. In order to understand why a Dodge safety rim wheel will hold a tire as no other rim can, let's compare them. First, the ordinary rim. If we sawed a piece right out of the rim, this is how it would look in cross-section. When a tire is mounted on the rim, A cross-section of the tire would look like this. The tire beads simply rest on the shoulders of the rim, held in place by the inflated tube. But watch what happens when that inner tube goes flat. The tire bead slips off the shoulder into the well, and the tire flops. Now in contrast, the cross-section of the Dodge safety rim, which is part of the wheel, would look like this. The main difference is in the contour of the shoulders. On the safety rim, notice the life-saving safety hump. When a tire is mounted on that rim, the beads are gripped inside that hump. The inflated tube is not required to keep the tire in place. So when the tube goes flat, the humps still hold the tire beads in position. That little, seemingly insignificant hump there may be the difference between life and death. That is why, even when a tire is blown with dynamite, it still clings to the wheel, making it easier for the driver to bring the car to a safe, straight-line stop.
And that's just another reason why I use Dodges in these shows and for my personal and family cars, too.
What goes on? There's a car on the track down there that doesn't belong there. See who it is. Get him out of there. There goes Whitey Reese in another car trying to catch him. Jimmy Lynch just tells me that man is handcuffed in there. Stop him, somebody. Light the firewall, boys. That'll stop him. Can't anybody head him off? He's still ahead on the backstretch. That guy's just crazy enough to try the dive bomber crash. Whitey can't hit him. Look out. He's going to try it. Hold it. Stay where you are, folks. Don't rush out on the track. We have plenty of help to look after things. We've got the car back up on its wheels, and the boys, all right.
I ought to beat your head in for this.
Well, I wanted to show you I didn't lose my nerve.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we seem to have an added attraction, whether we want him or not. I'm going to put it up to you. Shall I let him join the Death Dodgers, or shall I take him out and shoot him? They want you shot.
No, they don't. They want me hired.
Well, how's this? If Henry can roll an automobile 3 times from wheel to wheel, drive it back in front of the stands, we'll give him a job. How about it? Okay, come on.
This show's gotten out of my hands. I don't know what's coming next. Well, they seem to be about ready now. The car's already been rolled plenty of times. In fact, the boys just ironed it out again last night. There he goes. Good luck, kid. Now remember, if anything happens, don't rush out on the track. The boys are ready for any emergency. Ambulance, fire truck, crash wagon, even old car bodies to keep him from rolling into the railing. All eyes up the track. He's rounding the curve. Ooh, watch it, a little skid there, but he pulled out of it. He's got to have just the right speed for 3 rolls. Take it, boy. 1, 2, 3. Oh, boy, what a doozy. So you wanted thrills, did you? Here he comes, back to the stands under his own power. What do you think of him, folks? You know, that's one of the thrills, too. To know that the cars you have seen perform here today are stock cars with the same safety features that make Dodge the safest car in America yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Well, how about it, Jimmy? Have we got a new Death Dodger?
We sure have.
Oh, Candy.
Margie. Well, why don't you kiss her? Did you lose your nerve?
What do you think?
And even I can't top that, folks. Remember, drive a Dodge, drive safely, and I'll see you next year. So long.
Know where the Lee Bonnell family of Hollywood is going? Vacation. That wonderful American institution of going new places and doing new things. The vacation baggage is all packed and the family car is in tip-top shape, all checked and ready to go places. The Bonnells consider themselves experts on how to go places in the family car. Part of the job of being an expert is knowing how to get ready to go. Last vacation, this expert left the lawn sprinklers running. This expert forgot to leave a note for the milkman. So this year, the experts have a checklist. The checklist makes it easy to know what to take. Of course, it also makes it easy to know what not to take. With the family baggage all together, on display, anyone can do a good job of packing. A neat trick? When the things you'll want first are the last to be packed, they'll be easier to find. And here's a tip. One bag holding toilet articles, pajamas, and a change of light clothing for the entire family can save a lot of unpacking and repacking. Lee takes an expert's pride in keeping the passenger spaces clear and unobstructed. But even so, blocking that door on the traffic side is a good safety precaution if you're traveling with children. There's a small cushion or two for sleepyheads, and to help stretch distances between stops, a jug of water, some cookies, and dried fruit for between meal snacks without mess and bother. Last item on the Bonnell's checklist, and a good idea for everyone, a spare key for the car safely tucked away in a magnetic container for emergencies. Yes, when it comes to getting ready to go, a real expert seems to think of everything.
Philip, are you sure you snapped the lock on the front door when you closed it?
Yes, sir, Dad. It's locked.
Uh-oh, I just remembered something. My purse.
Where is it?
It's on the dining room table.
Okay, give me the keys. I'll go get it.
I hate to tell you this, but that's where all the house keys are, in my purse.
Oh.
The open road at last, ready to go places. Thanks to 3 small boys with hidden talent for burglary, only half an hour behind schedule. And who cares about schedules when they're vacation bound? Apparently, Pop does. But stepping on it is not the expert way to make up for lost time. The faster he goes, the fewer the miles on a tank full of gas. Much of the time he thinks he is saving by extra speed may actually be spent in extra refueling stops. Speed is expensive. For the average car, driving costs increase rapidly as driving speeds go up. So take it easy, Pop. That's right. You'll get there more economically, more safely, and probably just as soon if you drive at an efficient rate. Traveling at a steady, reasonable speed will let you cover more miles in a day, relaxed and comfortable. Experts make time by watching for ways to avoid business traffic in cities and towns. They plan their trips to avoid rush hour traffic at morning, noon, and evening in large cities on their route. Here's a time saver that works 2 ways. Whenever possible, combine all your requirements for service, such as gasoline, regular checks of oil, tires, and cooling system, in a single stop. Then you'll find you have plenty of time to get refreshment, exercise, and local information on highway conditions. Knowing how to get where you are going is one of the most important ways of saving time. But remember, it's so easy to get poor advice from people you just happen to meet along the road. Yep, down that way. Leastwise, he thinks so. Hey, wait, t'other way, t'other way. Oh, well.
I'm confused.
I'm hungry.
I'm thirsty. I'm sleepy.
And I'm positive that old coot told us this was the shortcut to the main highway.
There's something written on that sign up there. I'll get out and see what it says. No matter where you think you are, you are lost.
With a good map, highway navigation can be very simple. Next time you travel, try marking the route with 2 pencil lines enclosing the highway. The arrows call attention to important information. Some travelers use the map to make an ingenious guide list of route numbers and key mileages. For a long trip, the list is broken into sections, each covering a map or a section of a map. When the guide list is handy to the steering wheel, you can check off the route changes as you make them. Then you'll always know where you are and what to look for to keep you on the road. A knowledge of direction often helps you get where you are going. Did you know that you can use your watch as a compass if the sun is shining? Point the hour hand directly at the sun. Midway between the hour hand and 12 o'clock is approximately south. That's all there is to it. However, you'll find it pays to have a compass if you do a great deal of traveling in open country. When you're going places, knowing how to get ready to go and how to get where you're going are important. But knowing how to relax and have fun while you're going is most important of all. A good driver becomes steadily more alert and more efficient during the first 3 or 4 hours behind the wheel. After 4 hours of driving, his efficiency usually begins to drop unless he knows how to relax. The safest and most relaxed grip on the steering wheel is with the hands in what the experts call the 10-20 position. You'll cover more miles and arrive feeling more refreshed with your back straight and your head up than if you slouch behind the wheel. An occasional change in the position of the driver's seat also helps you stay comfortable and alert. Cross-country travel can be a rewarding experience for the whole family. But there are times when young passengers need something besides scenery to keep them happy and occupied. Here is a game that's fun for all. How far is it to that mountain ahead? Each member of the family guesses, and the closest guess scores a point. Many familiar parlor games become more enjoyable because they're played in a parlor on wheels. Spelling games and guessing games and license plate games inspired by the passing scene. On any cross-country vacation trip, the real expert is the one who takes the time to discover America. East or west, north or south. The awe-inspiring wonders of the Grand Canyon of the Colorado. The spectacular beauty of Zion National Monument. mighty Niagara, the sparkling waters of the Atlantic, the historic Southland. All these and 1,000 more within your easy reach. Isn't America wonderful? And aren't vacationers wonderful, too?
We're the boys. We've come hundreds of miles to see all of this. Why aren't they out here to enjoy it?
Oh, they're back in the car planning next summer's vacation. They're reading a book.
Reading a book?
Mm-hmm. I think the title is How to Go to the Moon.
Sooner or later, as you travel to other cities and states, you will find yourself driving on the open road. When you do, you will discover that good drivers can travel these roads in safety. Highways place special demands on the driver for two reasons. The first is speed. On the open stretches of most of these roads, maximum legal speeds are permitted. On other stretches, lower limits are posted because experience has shown that too many accidents occur above these limits. The second special feature of highways is interference along the right-of-way. Unlike superhighways or expressways, these roads have cross traffic. There are stop signs and signal lights. There are passenger cars and trucks, motorcycles and bicycles, horse-drawn vehicles, and farm tractors. There are tame animals, wild animals, and pedestrians. These are important characteristics of highway driving. Now, let's ask and answer some questions. Beginning with, is your car ready for the road? Before starting on any trip beyond the city limits, it's a good idea to be sure that your car is in condition to make the trip. If there is anything wrong with the engine, exhaust system, transmission, or brake system, you'll be better off to have your car repaired. Otherwise, you may be caught out on the lonely road, miles away from assistance. Assuming that your car is in good general condition, you will still want to check fuel, windows, water, oil, battery, lights and signals, all 5 tires, tools and jack. On any trip into unfamiliar territory, it's a smart thing to carry a map, some telephone money, and if night driving is involved, a flashlight with live batteries. In addition to being sure you're ready for the road, consider the weather and ask, is the road ready for me? Another question that will concern you from one end of the trip to the other is this: how's my speed? Most states have definite posted speed limits for the highways. These, of course, are only permissive and do not apply during adverse weather or heavy traffic conditions. In good weather, you may soon find yourself driving at the maximum speed permitted by law. At first, it may seem quite fast. This is important. If it feels too fast, it is too fast, and you should slow down to a speed that you can comfortably handle. On the other hand, after driving the maximum speed for a while, it may actually seem slow. You will feel capable of driving safely at even faster speeds. And this feeling will be reinforced as violators whiz by. Before you yield to the temptation, however, consider this. Over a distance of 50 miles, if you drive 10 miles above the speed limit, you'll be lucky to gain as much as 2 minutes. On the other hand, while you are gaining experience, you don't want to drive too slowly either, because this can be dangerous. Try to match your speed with the pace of the traffic. The time to drive at slower speeds is when your visibility has been reduced by darkness or adverse weather, or when the condition of the road surface reduces the distance in which you can stop. Our next question is, what about pedestrians? They should wear something white at night or carry a flashlight or handkerchief. But all too often, they don't. So it's up to you to watch the road ahead and the road shoulder for pedestrians, especially for children. They are sometimes harder to see, and their actions are not predictable. Every year, motorists get involved in serious collisions in a last-second effort to avoid hitting pedestrians. By spotting them well in advance, you can plan to give them extra clearance and be prepared to slow down or stop. You may never have thought of the next question, but it's a good one. Can you keep your car on the road? In many serious accidents, the driver gets into trouble without involving another vehicle. How are accidents like this caused? Inattention, sometimes complicated by excessive speed, is almost always a factor. A curve lies ahead. A sign cautions the driver, but he fails to pay attention. His car hits the curve, and he suddenly finds himself unable to handle the turn without a skid. If you should happen to drive onto the shoulder, don't be too hasty about getting back to the road surface. Most road shoulders are drivable. Just hold your car straight until it slows down. This is true even with a flat tire. Then, with the car under control at slow speed, return it to the pavement. If you find yourself driving off the pavement unintentionally, you'll know there's something wrong with your driving. You may be going too fast and should slow down. Or you're not paying attention to your driving. Or you're fatigued or sleepy and should stop driving. As we have seen, Control of your car at highway speeds is vitally important. Because this is true, always keep your car centered in its lane. Always approach curves and hills with close attention. Reduce speed at any time the condition of the road affects your control of the car. Accident records show that many drivers do not slow down enough for wet roads. Now, here are some answers to the question, how do I guard against collisions? We have seen how a great many serious highway accidents occur because the driver loses control of his car. Even more are caused by collisions, mostly with other vehicles, but also with pedestrians, trains, animals, and roadside objects. Collisions result from improper use of lanes, such as passing where it's prohibited. Changing lanes without looking or signaling. Or failing to maintain good visibility and a safe space cushion between the vehicle ahead and the one behind. You avoid collisions by giving full-time attention to your driving and taking precautions. You observe all no passing signs and road markings. And even in the absence of signs, you never pass on hills or on blind curves, bridges, intersections, or at rail crossings. It's simply a matter of being patient and waiting for a chance to pass when you can see it is safe. You pick a moment when the road ahead is clear for a good long distance. You check to the rear in both lanes to be sure that no one is overtaking you at close range. You signal when necessary, move into the left lane, and go on through. When you see both of his headlights in your mirror, you move back into the right lane. A great deal depends upon your ability to estimate the speed and distance of oncoming cars. Don't stare at them. You can't afford to rivet your attention on anything. Watch the road ahead and make all other observations with intermittent glances. On many curves, you have an excellent chance to look ahead, study oncoming traffic, judge its speed and distance. Later, as you enter a passing zone, this information can be useful. When passing, overtake the other car so that you're past him in a few seconds. Be on the alert for any drifting on the part of the other car and for any changes in the situation ahead and behind. Never hesitate to make a safe retreat from a passing maneuver if anything occurs up front that will reduce your margin of safety. Drop back and wait for a better time. Similarly, never attempt to pass a car if you find that you will have to complete the maneuver in a no passing zone. Watch out for other drivers who may misjudge speed and distance when passing. Slow down if necessary to increase the margin of safety. Don't wait too long, like this driver. That cloud of dust to the right is a clue. It warns of a car approaching from a side road. Good highway drivers avoid emergencies by looking far ahead, constantly interpreting the scene on the road, the shoulders, and all approaches. Your eyes should also be in constant motion, scanning the sides and rear so that no situation can take you by surprise. From time to time, you may drive on a 3-lane highway. The center lane is used as a passing lane for cars in both directions. When you move into the passing lane, be very sure that no nearby car from the opposite direction is also using it. You don't want to be in the middle of a 3 or 4 car collision. Good drivers treat a 3-lane road like a 2-lane road when it comes to passing. They time their moves to avoid being the middleman in a dangerous squeeze like this. It is also a practical idea during the daytime to turn on your headlights while in the center lane if 2 or more cars are approaching in the distance. One of the most risky things a driver can do on the open highway is to follow another car too closely or permit another car to follow him too closely. This is especially hazardous on a 2-lane road. If the first car suddenly stops, there will be a 3-car collision. A good rule for spacing is this. For each 10 miles per hour of speed, allow at least 1 car length between you and the car ahead. At 50 miles an hour, therefore, you need a cushion of more than 5 car lengths. And you need the same cushion to the rear. If another car persists in following you too closely, increase your speed to widen the distance if you're driving below the speed limit. If he still hangs on, pick a safe time and place to stop so that he is forced to pass by. You'll lose a little time, but it's worth it. You can enjoy the use of the highways in safety for years to come by thoroughly checking the condition of the car so that you know it is roadworthy. Never exceeding posted speed limits, and always setting lower limits of your own when driving conditions reduce visibility or shorten your safe stopping distance. Scanning the road shoulders for signs of pedestrians and bike riders. Keeping your car under control and on the road by giving full-time attention to where you are driving and how you are driving. Steering clear of collision situations by maintaining a space cushion to the front and rear. And passing only when you know it's safe.
My name is Bob Trent. I represent the people here at the General Motors Technical Center in Warren, Michigan. As you know, our new Chevrolet Task Force trucks are tailor-made for as many differences in climate, terrain, and load hauling as there are occupations. That takes in a lot of people. But you know, that's something we get quite a kick out of here, knowing that when we develop and test our trucks, we're helping people in all kinds of jobs. For instance, take someone like William L. Mann of Kill Devil Hills near Cape Hatteras in North Carolina. Bill has been an independent contractor for over 20 years and can't think of anything he'd rather do. His biggest job is locating and hauling gravel, an important job in this area where wind, water, and storms constantly change the face of the land. At times, Bill works from dawn till dark, searching the beach for gravel deposits left by the tide. Then they must be scooped up before the next tide washes them back out to sea. On stormy, windswept Cape Hatteras property, covering the sand with an inch or two of gravel can mean the difference between land or sea. Bill Mann is 39 years old, married, the father of 3 girls. His hobbies, beside his family, are hunting and fishing. And here, of course, he finds one of the best fishing waters in the country. He has a tractor with a trailer for big loads and on-the-road travel, besides his dump truck with four-wheel drive. Bill likes the hard work, healthy hours as he calls them, and being his own boss. He often leaves the dump truck on the beach overnight. The next morning, there's no need to dig it out. He simply gets in and drives off, sometimes in water up to the bumpers. For with all the wind, sand, storms, and heavy loads, Bill finds Chevrolet the ideal truck for his work. Because day after day, Bill Mann's truck does its job faithfully and reliably. How come? Because it's been there before. Yes, right here at the Tech Center, long before it went into mass production, a model of his truck was subjected to temperatures as high as 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And for cold weather driving, all parts were tested at temperatures as low as 20 degrees below zero. In the wind tunnel, winds up to 65 miles an hour tested the lines of every model. In the brine tank, strong solutions of salt spray splashed on chassis and body and simulated flood conditions of more than a foot of water. The metal and paint finishes were exposed to extreme degrees of sunlight, humidity, heat, cold, dew, and salt splash. All these tests explain why, no matter how penetrating or corroding the moisture in the air, or how violent the storms, a Chevrolet truck performs better, more economically, and with less maintenance because it's been there before. You know, for adventure, the exciting promise of riches overnight, mining for uranium on the Colorado Plateau appeals to almost every man. For example, take a man like Sherman Asplund. With 32 years' experience in mining in North and South America, he is an authority on diamond core drilling. Sherman is the field superintendent and general troubleshooter for a uranium mining company in Moab, Utah. His trailer, which he and his wife have lived for 11 years, has a direct phone to company headquarters and a two-way radio to all its mines. Going from one job to another, Sherman often works around the clock, 7 days a week. That often means traveling over crude, rough roads carved out of the mountainsides. Sherman says he hasn't found a place where his truck won't go through, over, or under. Sometimes he's had to back up to get a running start, but he's always made it. Once in a while, when he's stumped by a new problem, Sherman takes off for a few hours of fishing at the river. Does a heap of fixing, he says. He has only 2 beeps about his truck. It won't go until he puts it in gear, and he still hasn't been able to wean it away completely from gasoline. Each day, Sherman drives great distances, going from one drilling operation to another. Yes, over the rugged wilderness of the Great Plateau, Sherman Asplund's truck meets every challenge successfully because it's been there before. A model of Sherman's truck was put through 900 bumps a minute, so engineers could study their effects on springs, shock absorbers, engine and body mountings. Stress concentrations under actual road conditions were recorded. Vibration frequencies at varying speeds and degrees of roughness were studied to overcome problems of metal fatigue. Truck as well as car transmissions were tested under conditions similar to a climb up Pikes Peak, including road grades and hairpin turns, putting trucks through more grueling trials than the wildest terrain of the Colorado Plateau can provide. Cliff Morgan has the kind of job that most of us at one time or another think that we'd like. Cliff is the timber boss for a big lumber company in the Pacific Northwest. 40 years old, Cliff has worked in the woods for over 22 years. He uses his truck for an office and for transportation, carrying anything from dynamite or injured men to spare parts for heavy equipment. He works the year round, except for about 6 weeks in winter when snow usually closes down the entire woods. In logging parlance, a show is the area in the center of a good stand of trees that are to be taken down. Cliff plans every show, builds the roads and bridges to bring out the logs, and selects the right men for the work. Now, with 100 men under him, he works from 5:30 every morning until 6 or 7 at night, sometimes staying in the woods for days in time of deadlines, floods, or fires. Every 2 hours during the day, Cliff checks the weather forecast on his two-way radio. Wind changes, rain, and fire are constant dangers. And when the humidity falls to 30%, it is an unwritten law of the woods that all work stops. The danger from fires is so great that even all combustion engines are shut off. Cliff's hobbies are night baseball and fishing, but most of the time he's working, and there isn't a job he asks his men to do that he hasn't done himself. From fallers, the men who saw down the trees, to buckers, the men who cut the fallen trees into various lengths, to the dumpers who dump the logs into the river where they are hauled away to the sawmill by tugboat. Throughout Cliff's job, top performance, economy, and reliability under tough operating conditions are musts for his vehicle. Yet Cliff Morgan's truck meets every test. Why? Because it's been there before. Yes, long before Cliff's truck was put into production, durability tests forced the engine through an entire lifespan of normal use within the space of a few days. Brake linings were checked under high brake drum temperatures to find out how well the brake lining material kept its friction quality. Metal alloys were checked for constant friction wear resistance characteristics. Torsion strengths of various steels for crankshafts were tested for long life endurance. Today, nearly 140 million miles of experience and an accumulation of more than 30 years of testing know-how go into the day and night round-the-clock trials of Chevrolet Task Force trucks. Perhaps this is why people like you have bought more Chevrolet trucks than any other, year after year for more than 19 years. You know a Chevrolet Task Force truck is tailor-made to give maximum performance, economy, and reliability wherever it is called upon to operate, because it's been there before.
In the new Chevrolet, you get all of the big, important things you want and need in a really modern automobile. Magnificent new styling, both inside and out. Wonderful new comfort in both basic body design and interior appointments. Riding and handling ease you must experience to really appreciate, and power and performance the low-price field has never known. But that's only half the story. Chevrolet's modern engineering carries every major feature at least one step further to give extra features you find on no other car in Chevrolet's price class. That means extra pleasure, extra safety, and extra convenience in your daily driving. Here's a new multi-million-dollar road improvement program in the making. A citywide network of modern expressways. Here's proof of another new road improvement development. It's the unique front ball suspension system that lets you go places you might hesitate to go with any other car. You like hunting and fishing? Go right in deep to your favorite secret haunts. This car can take those murderous wagon trails, and so can you. And you'll roll home with a new feeling of relaxed comfort. With its new ball suspension system, new inclined knee action shock absorbers and coil springs. The new Chevrolet has such front-end stability, the old-fashioned stabilizer bar is no longer needed. Extra features? Watch this. But hey, doesn't this wash the lubricant off the ball connections in the front suspension? Probably. Just as in normal driving, when sudden squalls flood roads and highways. But the new Chevrolet has revolutionary non-metallic bearing liners around the ball connections. That means longer, more trouble-free operation in all your driving, plus extra protection under extreme conditions. And here's more extra protection. Chevrolet's famous jumbo drum brakes, the largest in the field. Safe, sure stopping every time. That's important. And so is split-second warning to the driver behind you. Extra safety, and you get it only in the new Chevrolet. The stoplight switch is the safe mechanical type, completely independent of the hydraulic brake system. So, regardless of brake adjustment, the instant you touch the brake pedal, your stoplights flash on. And in the new Chevrolet, the brake pedal linkage and stoplight switch are up inside the car, away from road splash. Extra protection, extra assurance of working efficiency. And the new Chevrolet adds still another extra exclusive braking feature. The normal tendency to a front-end nosedive is automatically counteracted. A completely new feeling of comfort and assurance. And you get it only in the new Chevrolet. Now, meet Miss Darlene Dalton, a real genuine outdoor girl. As you might suspect, Miss Dalton in action is something to see. A one-sport girl? Not Miss Dalton. There are sports and sports. And this one involves a new Chevrolet. Take a gander down the track. An interesting challenge to anyone's steering ability. But watch this. It seems Miss Dalton has her own way of doing things. Unconventional, perhaps, but it proves a point. Chevrolet's modern engineering gives something extra in standard steering ease. An exclusive free-rolling ball race system. The smoothest standard steering there is. Here's a new way to keep warm. This takes smooth steering plus a short turning radius. It's easy on a motorcycle or in a new Chevrolet. With less body overhang, both front and rear, and better weight distribution, the new Chevrolet gives you the shortest turning radius in its field, plus easier front wheel control. This all adds up to effortless handling ease on the road and extra driving pleasure. And rear-end stability, more Chevrolet bonus engineering. Longer, softer acting, outrigger-mounted rear springs give extra rear seat riding comfort. But let's stop here and go back to the beginning of this trip. All around this car, you find extra consideration for the owner. One key for all the locks. A trunk lid counterbalanced through its full travel, both up and down. Rounded trunk lid corners for extra safety. The lowest trunk sill in Chevrolet's field by many inches. Easier loading and unloading. A driver-centered glove compartment, angled down so things fall in instead of out. And for coffee breaks on the road, another extra. Windshield wipers, the dependable cable type, with the motor outside the passenger compartment for quieter operation. And you simply turn the headlamp switch to check the back seat situation. When they're locked, rear door handles freewheel harmlessly, standard on all Chevrolet four-door models. And when they're unlocked, the most convenient rear seat exit and entry in Chevrolet's price class. Plus the extra convenience of keyless locking on all doors. And you get plenty of extra going features, especially with Chevrolet's remarkable new Turbofire V8 engine, the smoothest, quietest, high-power V8 engine in the business. And it should be. The complete engine is precision mass balanced after assembly in unique electronically operated machines. These machines automatically determine how much the engine is out of balance and then automatically bring it into balance. Only Chevrolet in the entire industry takes this extra step with such ultra-modern machines. And the result? The smoothest, quietest power from the engine with the best power-to-weight ratio in Chevrolet's field for either conventional or automatic driving. And for lowest cost automatic driving, here's the only 6-cylinder engine in Chevrolet's field with extra quiet, extra efficient hydraulic valve lifters, plus an automatic downshift for flashing starts and surging passing power. Extra performance, extra quality, extra value. You get them all in the new Chevrolet. All because Chevrolet's modern engineering goes one step further.